Well, I'm not going to do another outfit video yet, so here's some old footage while I just talk about what's going on. This week's a big one. I'm a day late to the party in terms of making a video of it at least, but I certainly saw it kind of early on Tuesday yesterday. Tuesday, of course, is the daily update, or the weekly update day for Red Dead Online. There hasn't been much to speak of the last 2 weeks. Or maybe it's even been 4 weeks. I was thinking it was 2 weeks though. There literally hasn't even been limited time clothing to buy. I mean, there really has just been kind of super crappy updates. This week, however, we got some interesting stuff. We got what's important to me, I guess, is that there was a moonshiner delivery 50% increase. So all of their moonshine deliveries pay 150% of what they normally do. Since that is one of my main money-making routines, because it's kind of passive, I just let batches brew while I'm doing daily challenges, and then I deliver them. And especially, well, most of my family is out of town, I'm doing at least 2, maybe 3 deliveries a day. Sometimes even more, I guess, depending on how busy I am doing stuff. So I can make pretty good money when there's a 150% payout, because I can make pretty good money when there's just a regular amount when it's 100% payout, when it's just normal. So that's really nice. There's a bounty hunter bonus that's similar to that, although the payout there is rather small anyway, so it doesn't amount to as much, relatively speaking. It's still, you don't really notice the difference between $12 and $16, but you definitely notice the difference between $240 and $380, if you catch my drift. So I'm taking advantage of that to try and make some extra money, and I've also kind of really been hitting the trader roll hard to try and do long distance deliveries. I've been trying to hit the daily challenges pretty hard. I've been doing more than normal because I've had a little bit more free time to do them. So rather than, doing 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 daily challenges, I'm doing, 14, 15 on a regular basis. I'm kind of stepping out and doing some of the ones that maybe take a little bit longer to do because I just have a little bit more free time that I can devote to doing them. I still don't do anything that is posse or PvP related. Not that I couldn't if I wanted to spend the time, but I'm just really not interested, and I kind of draw the line there and just am not interested in doing those. The big news with the update, of course, is that every item of limited clothing that they've ever had is now for sale all at once, and it is only for sale for 1 week. This is huge because, some of this stuff has come up before, and I bought 1 or 2 of them, and then, wished I had bought more of them. Some of it there's a few items that I've never even seen in the 6 months that I've played, or I've only seen it come up, maybe once. And there's a few items that I still don't care about and wouldn't ever buy, no matter what. This is seen by most as a likely sign that there's going to be an announcement of the DLC very soon. And so there's a big blowout weekly update to try and get everybody to kind of come back and pay attention for a little while, plus to kind of clean out all the money and gold that they're hanging on to, so they have more reason to play after the release of the new DLC. So that's what a lot of people are suspecting. And to be fair, a lot of people have been suspecting updates for a couple months, and they've seen all kinds of things saying, oh, this is a sign of there being an update coming. And it hasn't happened yet, so, take that with a grain of salt. I think, though, that maybe some of those signs were updates. That was the original schedule before anybody knew that the Chinese coronavirus was going to throw a wrench in everybody's schedule and delay everything. So some of those signs that we saw before probably were legitimately pointing towards the planned schedule. They just didn't point to the actual schedule, as it turns out. But the fact that they're doing this now, we'll see, and we're keeping our fingers crossed, and I don't want to be too declarative, certainly, because we don't know this, but we'll see. Maybe next week there will actually be an announcement. And it seems to be Rockstar's pattern that they hold off on making their announcement until they're almost ready to go or are ready to go, because they don't want to announce something too early and then it takes them too long to release it. So this seems to be their pattern. They have this big blowout, then there will be the announcement, and then within a couple of weeks the DLC will actually hit. So we'll see. I'm crossing my fingers. I hope that that's true. In the meantime, I'm kind of glad that I had run my gold up. I was holding a balance of 140 or more, and I've now run that back down to 90, buying stuff that is only going to be available this week. And that's even with me, doing everything I can to try and earn all the gold I can in the meantime. And I've also been earning money like crazy and spending it as fast as I have it, trying to buy, again, these limited item clothing items while they're still available. I will be at the point after this where there's very little that I really want to buy until they start putting some new items in. And that's not true. I guess there's still plenty of regular stock items that I want to either go get or get more colors of or something. I'm really kind of getting to the point where I've got a huge collection of clothing items. And I bought a lot of stuff already just yesterday, I guess. Can you believe it? It's only been a day since the release of this update. I've bought tons of stuff. I'm actually kind of getting to the point where most of the stuff I want to buy that I haven't already bought costs gold, and I'm not going to have enough gold to buy all of it. So I will try to get a few more things as the week goes on, but I absolutely refuse to let my gold total dip below 90, because that was the minimum threshold that I established months ago as what I want to have when the DLC comes out. So I don't want it to dip below that. But like I said, I had it up to probably 150. I mean, well, I've been buying things here and there because I felt like I had more money. I wish that I kind of hadn't been a little bit now, because now I really feel like I could use more gold if I had it. There's plenty of things that I would want, but I'm also getting to the point where I've bought most of what I really want, even on the limited item stuff. There's a few specific colors of a few selections that I want. There's a set of boots that's gold that I'm probably just going to have to blow off. There's a few other things. If they cost gold, I'm pretty much there's only a few of them left that I can still get. So one of the things that this has done is that it's thrown a little bit of a wrench into my outfits. I had some outfits ready to go. In fact, I had actually recorded video already of these outfits, even though it was my intention to hold it off a little bit, because I really haven't been wearing these outfits very long, and I didn't want to put myself in a position where I already did the video and didn't need to do it anymore. However, as all of these new limited time items have come up, I've found in some cases that there are some tweaks that I could make to the outfits using new items that I didn't have before that improve them a little bit, or at least that they're different. And, for example, I had an outfit with red knit gloves, and then the furred gloves came back, and I've had the black furred gloves for quite a long time, but I have not had I didn't buy the red ones. I kind of wish that I had, because there are only 2 colors of those. And so I bought them, and guess what? If I could use the red knit gloves, I can use the red furred gloves, and they match equally well, but they kind of look cool because they're a little different. For example, I had also a character that had the purple Richfield vest. It's kind of a purple plaid, and now the Cardozo vest came out, and there's a purple one that looks really good. And I was like, you know what? I think that actually, I don't know that it looks as good with the outfit as the Richfield one does, but I swapped to it because I can, and it's new. So there's a little bit of that going. And there's another one where I had the black gator hat, because that was the only gator hat I bought when it came around the first time. I've now bought most of the gator hats that there are since yesterday. I can't believe how much money I've made and spent already. since yesterday. It's a little crazy. I did a coin run, which I hadn't done in weeks, maybe even a month. I did a long distance trader run, and I've probably sold at least half a dozen moonshine deliveries, maybe even a little bit more. So I've spent $2,000-3,000 plus I when this started, I actually had several $100s on me. So like I probably spent $2,000. It's not real money, of course, Red Dead money, maybe even a little bit more. And I will probably spend another no, I probably just spent more than that, probably maybe more like 3. And I may spend another 1,000 yet before the week's over, maybe. Because the other thing I want to do is the Bounty Hunter and Moonshine outfits are on steep sale because of the bonuses. So I want to actually go in and get a couple more variations of those, even though mostly that's so I can have different color hats. Because I really don't use the roll outfits for much, and I don't really intend to use them much, although some of them I do kind of like, and I have worn a little bit here and there. So anyway, that's the big news of what's going on, and I'm not doing my new outfits video because I'm going to wait till all of this limited time crap settles down and I have all the items I want, and I see if there's any tweaks I want to make. I've already got 2 more sets of outfits, I think, ready to go. Is it 2 or is it just 1? Let's see, I've got 2 more sets of outfits ready to go. So I might tweak those a little bit too. And then after that, as I do new ones, I'll probably utilize a lot more of my newer clothing items. I had already, for example, kind of thought, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about these porter vests that I have, and I really like them with some of my early outfits because I bought those a long time. I bought the 2 that I had a long time ago. So I was already kind of thinking I want to use those for something, and lo and behold, of course, now I could buy all of the rest of most of the rest of the porter vests. I'm probably not going to buy literally every single color of those because a bunch of them cost gold. So stuff like that's happening too, where I kind of feel like I don't want to do anything with the outfits I have now except for just use them, because as we kind of move forward, I'm not ready to make new outfits yet because I want the limited time stuff to settle down a little bit. I could make it, but then I would feel like, oh, I didn't use this. So anyway, that's kind of where I am. I also, as you may have noticed, I think I showed, I did. I showed them in my last video. I had redone my character. I had gone back to the changed appearance and made him change his heritage, which is a significant change to his appearance, although depending on the angle, it's not as significant as you might think. I looked at some of my old videos. In my original version of my character, I actually still kind of liked, although I was ready for a change when I changed it, but when I tweaked it and I didn't change the heritage and I tried to just do minor tweaks, I actually kind of was more and more unhappy with that result. It actually looked worse than, over time I realized it looked worse than what I had started with. So when I made this major change, at first I liked it, but I kind of looked at him and was like, this doesn't look like my character, though. And I knew that was just a question of I needed to kind of get used to it. But I have now had him for the better part of a week, and I feel much more comfortable with him. I actually really quite like this new look to my character. I did actually go in and tweak it again, so I spent $800 making the changes rather than $4 because I went in and changed a few things after I test drove it for a couple days the first time. So, that's part of it too, is that this new look, it kind of makes some of the outfits look differently. He still has a relatively dolichocephalic head, I think, but it is broader. He has a broader face than my other character, which had a really, really narrow face. And I think that will make certain hats in particular look better on him. I did think it almost kind of created an illusion that the character himself was bigger, broader, But I think that that is actually an illusion. I don't think there's any change at all to like his shoulder size or anything. The biggest thing there is that you need to wear clothes that flatter, I guess, the figure rather than not, because it's not just a naturally good-looking figure like Arthur or even John has in single player, where his shoulders are broad and he looks fairly strong and athletic. Even the athletic build has kind of narrow, round shoulders. I've said this before, he looks like a runner, not a fighter, so it's the wrong kind of athletic. But certain clothes make him look broader and bulkier. I've actually noticed that certain clothes just make his arms and shoulders look super skinny though, and you just don't want to wear those, unfortunately. And those are outfits that sometimes they would look great on somebody like Arthur, but they just don't look good on my online character. And now maybe if I made kind of the fat linebacker type build, they would look better on him, but that's not really a great look either, and I would never want to pick that. So it's a little unfortunate. I don't know why they didn't give us better options for character build. I've actually found if I use some of the skinny looking outfits with my new character, excuse me, swallowed something there really badly, that he actually looks even skinnier because the broader face makes his head look bigger in comparison. So he kind of looks a little bit like a stick figure. It's a little strange. Anyway, because I've swallowed something and now I've kind of lost my voice, I better wrap this up and quit. I don't want to re-record the whole thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. But hope you enjoy this, and then we'll get back to videos probably end of the week or early next week.